Did you go to the Ross Lyon Grand Finals?
I've been to every grand finals since post my birth.
How was it walking out after getting so close?
Talking about 10?
Yeah.
To be honest, 9 ripped my heart out more.
Okay.
9
was Geelong, yeah.
Geelong. That absolutely ripped me in half. I was just devastated for weeks after that game.
We'll talk about sport before we get to your journey. You at the Australian Open men's final?
I was very lucky, yeah.
Stick it out? Good
Mate.
answer. Good answer. Because that was, if you said no, I was like,
Mate, I've been lucky enough to be, I was at the marathon, Nadal, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer. I've been to the big, long 5-setters.
And always stuck it out.
Always stuck it
Good
out.
man.
Yeah, 1:30, 2 a.m. Oh, yeah, I couldn't move the other night. I was just...
Did you think Sinner was gone 2 sets down?
I did, but I was there 2 years ago when Medvedev was 2 sets up over Nadal, which was,
happened again,
to this day, one of the most incredible sporting displays I've seen, because the third set, Medvedev was not off his game. He just dropped 3% in that third set. I mean 3%. And Nadal got a break, and it was just on. And I'll never forget that because, it wasn't a case of him sort of falling away or like not getting his serve in. It was just this intensity that just managed to just sink a tiny bit. Nadal, as you know, is just point for point. He never had the body language of someone who was 2 sets down. So, but coming back to that, I didn't think the way Sinner played the first 2 sets that he had the weapons to get past him. I thought he just had to keep staying in the point and hope that Medvedev was going to falter somewhere. And I would love to have heard the commentary on the night, which obviously you can't when you're there, because I wanted to hear what they were saying. But it was quite fascinating.
I was driving home from the airport late after the test match in Brisbane. So I was listening to it on the radio. Interesting sport to listen on the radio, cross court, backhand, forehand, backhand. I'm not sure it quite translates.
Do you love your tennis? Like,
I do.
What's your favourite sport?
Cricket.
Okay.
So I work on
man.
cricket and footy, but I would prefer to surf than anything else. But yeah, I do love calling the cricket and the footy, which we'll get to. So when we talk about these sports, okay, can you play tennis?
I can play tennis. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Not
are you?
great. I mean,
are you a sort of serve volley man? Are you baseline, slugging away Sampras style, or are you coming up rafter style?
I'm creative.
I'm creative. I'm a bit dinky.
I like to pull out the repertoire.
Okay, a few little slices, a bit tricky.
Let's just say there's a knee reconstruction that's occurring today because I'm a fan of the drop shot. And it's not my knee who's being reconstructed.
Right. So you caused an ACL is what you're telling with a little dinky one.
Especially if I play with men my age, they better be good runners.
Okay, so that's tennis. Footy, why the Saints?
Just always, since I was born, my grandparents, my mother, one of my uncles was a Saint, and I just followed them since I was born, really.
So what's your first memory of going to watch the Saints?
First memory is going to Moorabbin and standing on cans and being fed through the chicken wire to sit on top of the players' race.
Perfect.
Yeah. So my uncle used to take me. We lived in Tullamarine. I'd get dropped off to Ferntree Gully, and then I'd go to the game with my Ferntree Gully uncle to Moorabbin. And yeah, I'd spend the days on the players' race behind the chicken wire. And then I remember I remember being so excited when I got my license that I could actually drive from Tullamarine to Moorabbin for our home games. That was like the most important thing about getting my license was that journey. I'll never forget the first time I pulled into the Tucker Road Primary School car park. I thought, we're on here. Life doesn't get any better than this.
And who was you as a kid? Like, whose number did you have on your back? Who was the man for you?
Well, as a kid, I mean, obviously we all love Trevor Barker. I was a big Geoff Cunningham fan as well.
Now, so he came back and played in Traralgon, talking about
did he
Traralgon
really?
For the Maroons.
Wow.
And he just used to frighten blokes away from the ball.
I'm sure he did.
He was a tough man, Geoff Cunningham.
Yeah. I loved them all. And then obviously, I was lucky enough to be there through the Plugger era. And Nicky Winmar's probably my favourite Saints player of all time.
Yep.
So that era was pretty special. And the Waverley era, all that.
Did you go to the Ross Lyon Grand Finals?
I've been to every grand finals since post my birth. Every final, yeah. I don't miss anything.
How was it walking out after getting so close?
You're talking about 10?
Yeah.
To be honest, 9 ripped my heart out more.
Okay.
9
was Geelong, yeah.
Geelong. That absolutely ripped me in half. I was just devastated for weeks after that game. 10 was tough, obviously, the drawn grand final. And the replay was a weird game. I remember walking into the G week 2 and it feeling, because all the corporates had dropped off, right, it felt like a big home and away game.
Yeah.
And you felt the Collingwood Army more so in week 2 than week 1. And it just had this kind of foreboding, big home and away kind of semi-final, qualifying final feel almost. And it was just ugly. It was ugly. It was bad.
Did you play footy as a kid?
I did, played for Essendon Grammar.
Right, now I want to hear about this. What position? What were you? And I want you to compare yourself to a modern day AFL player. Where were you? Where were you?
They're all dying to hear that comparison. Unfortunately, I was one of the taller guys in our B team, and I wasn't that tall, so I had to go ruck forward with another mate of mine, and I'd always come up against some beast, you know, who had a mountain man beard and was like 6'6", and I was probably back then about 6 foot, and get smashed in the ruck and then go down forward. But when I was little, when I was smaller, when I first started playing, I was on the wing. Okay. Because I used to do a lot of little ass, used to do a lot of sprinting, so I loved playing on the wing when I was younger.
So we were like a hard running. I'm just trying to think of who's out in the wing, like sort of Wangani Malera type, or were you a bit more in and under Stevie Baker, or big ruckman? Were you more your Rowan Marshall?
I reckon I was on the guy on the half forward flank, constantly waving his arms, just trying to hope someone would pass the ball to him. Who's that guy?